Okay, let me just make sure I got it. Okay, good. Okay, let's now go to create another project. So the one we just did was week 5. This is now week 6, right? Let's go to File, New, Java Projects. CSE114, Spring 17, week 06, lab number 1. Okay, let's create this new project here. Okay, and then I would say, what about do something that's even simpler than 1.2? Okay, let's do some simple two-dimensional array. Let's try that. New class simple 2D, capital D, 2D string array. We're gonna have a two-dimensional array of type string. Let's give it a try. Okay, and then with the main method. Let's get used to the syntax first before we get to 1.2. Okay. So now for this one here, let me put on the board what kind of array we're going to create. Let's say this is what we want, conceptually. Let's say we want to do something like this. Something like that. Okay. You can see somehow, let's say just for this one here, we have basically 3 rows, 0, 1, and 2, right? 3 rows. And how many columns do we have? You can see here we got first column, second column, and third column. But we're going to be careful because for only the first row, we only got 1 column, right? For the second row, we got 2 columns. Third row, we got 3 columns. So more precisely, this is what we're going to create. We have an array of arrays. It's going to be 0, 1, 2. Let's call it just string array, SA. Okay, string array. The first one is going to be of size 1. And the second one is going to be of size 2. And the third one is going to be of size 3. Like that. 0, 1, 0, 1, 2. Okay? Let's say we want to put A, B, C, D, E, F. That's it. Let's try that. So now let's go there. So let's say string array. You can see there are 2 pairs of square brackets over here. 2-dimensional array. String array over here is assigned to. I would suggest you type in the following way. Put a pair of brackets like this. Put a semicolon. Empty. Okay? Hit and enter over here. So that means we're going to specify row by row. Row number 0. It's going to be just an array of one single element A. Put a comma here. Okay? And now row number 1. Row number 0, row number 1. And now here we have B and, beg your pardon, C, comma, row number 2, D, E, F. Okay, we can make some comment here. Row 0, row 1, row 2. So nobody says you have to put the whole decoration in one single line. It's not recommended. Put in whatever way that makes sense to you conceptually, right? The computer doesn't care how many view lines you hit. We want to make it as understandable by you as possible. So that's an array. So now we would like to print out all the contents. How about that? We're going to apply the only coding example we did this morning when we tried. Okay, let's try this. So now we're going to say for, how about R for row? The integer R is assigned to be 0, R less than, before I do this, I'll try something for you before I do this. Can we print out something? System.out.println. The number of rows. How do we figure out the number of rows we have? It's going to be SA dot length, right? SA, an array, dot length will be 1, 2, 3. We got 3 rows over here. Right? Let's try that. Okay, 3. What about the number of columns? System.out dot print line. Number of columns of row 0. Okay. So now SA with 0 dot length. Okay, that's what we said this morning, right? Just in case you see that. So what about this row over here, the entire row? SA at 0 dot length. Right? It's going to tell you it has only one element there. Okay? It's going to be 1. 1. Okay? And let's try something very similar. What about row 1? Just change it to SA1. It's going to give us a different result, which will be 2. That makes sense from there. Because SA1 is SA and index 1 is going to refer to this entire array. And how many elements do we have? 2. Right? Let's do one more. And then we'll do the loop. Okay, row 2, SA2, that'll be 3. Okay, we should try more. How do I print out the elements? Let's say I want to print out 2 things, over here and over here. And try one by one. For this one here, it's in row number 1, column number 0, right? System.out dot print line. Element at row 1, column 0. Okay. So we can say SA row 1, column 0. We should expect to get B. Let's see if that's really the case. Yes, B. Okay, try one more. Row number 2, column number 1, which should be E. Okay, you can copy this line here. Oops, just one. So let's say row number 2 and column number 1. So 2, 1. And we expect to get E. Okay, B and E. Okay, guys, by the way, don't look at that screen. That one, right? You're not looking at that, right? Hopefully not. Please look at that. It's much clearer. Oh, okay, maybe I should have mentioned that. Yeah, please don't look at this screen. Okay. Okay, let's try something illegal here. Okay. What if I give you some illegal row number? Let's try for fun. System.out dot print line. SA, if I put, for example, -1 and 1. Oh, what about 0? Okay, what's going to happen? Crash, right? Because -1 is not valid over here. And also, let's try this. Let's try something a little bit more, not so extreme. If I try to say, I want to go to row number 0, but column 1, which doesn't quite exist, that will also crash. What about we try that as well? To really convince you. This one will crash. This one here, row number 0, and we want to go to column number 1. That will crash too, because 1 is not a valid syntax for this particular. Any questions until now? So we're just doing the basics before we go to the exercise. Okay, let's do this loop over here. Okay, for integer r is equal to 0. You know what? I would like to run a debugger with you this time. So I would like to put this initialization over here. So it's easier to show in the debugger. Okay? R less than SA dot length R plus plus. Okay, so also good. And then I would say into another for loop. Before that, I would say integer C, which is colon, is assigned to be 0. And then C less than SA at row dot length. And C plus plus. Okay, I would like to put the C++ at the end of the for loop, which is exactly what it means. I would like to put R++ over here at the end of the outer for loop over here. So when we see the debugger, we'll see exactly how these values are updated, right? Okay, so now we can say that system.out.println, we can say row plus R. So now we can say system.out.println. Let's say print. Actually, print line is fine. Actually, sorry about that. Print line. And now we say print, and then we'll say colon plus C. Okay, and finally we can say system.out.print, and also colon C, and then what the element is. So now we'll simply print out SA, R, and then C. Okay. Finally, after each row, we're gonna say system.out.println. Just print a new line. So you will see each line represent each row. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Are you okay? So before, let me just put a space here to make it a little bit better. Okay. First of all, why don't we try to see what comes out? First of all. So row number 0, we have. Okay, let me make it a little bit better. Okay, it's not very good. There's space here. So let's say this more or less what you will get, right? Okay, let's have a look. For row number 0, you have only one column, which is column 0, which is A. For row number 1, you got 2 columns there. So you got column 0, which is B. Column 1, which is C. Okay? And then for row number 2, you got 3 columns there, which is column 0, which is D, column 1, which is E, and column 2, which is F. Is it clear to you what's going on here? We will see how exactly this was printed in the debugger. Okay? That's something I would like to show you because you might need that for maybe assignment 5, I guess. You'll be given some game to program. Why don't we try for a few iterations for you to get an idea? So let's say we do put a line, breakpoint over here, okay? Breakpoint over here, right before we initialize the loop counter R, okay? Let's try the debugger, okay? So now let's do this. Okay, now we're here. I would like to. So now you can see the only choice we have is to execute this line here, which will initialize the loop counter R to be 0. Step over, you will see that in the variables panel over here, you have R being 0. Okay, that's what you have. And now R is now 0. So now 0, you can move your mouse over, you get 0 here, right? What about SA.length? We can go to expressions. If you go to, let me just remove all my expressions first to remove all. Okay, what about SA.length? 3. Okay, so now you have 0 less than 3, which is true. So we'll go in there. Once we go in there, we're going to initialize a second loop counter, which is 0. So now if you go back to variables over here, you have R and C, both zeros. Why don't we just put them in expressions? R here, and C here, both zeros. Kind of follow so far? Okay, so you got R and C. So now we're going to print out something based on the row. So you're going to step over. So now you got row number 0. Okay, and now let's see, we're going to go into the inside the inner loop to walk through the columns one by one. So now C is 0 at the moment, and now let's see what this expression is. SA's are dot length, which means we go to row number 0 and see how long it is. Okay, let me just copy this, go to expressions, right? 1. That makes sense, because now we column 0, row number 0, the length will be just 1. Okay? That means we're going to run only one iteration for this formula here. Only one. Okay? So now we know that C currently is 0. And this expression here, as we can see from here, is 1. 0 less than 1, true. Go into it. So now we say colon 1. Okay? I want you to watch what's going to happen in the console over here. Okay? If you say step over, colon 0, which makes sense. And then we're going to print out exactly what this is. If you copy that expression there and put it there, which is A. So now if I step over, I can expect A to be printed. Exactly A over here. Okay, let's do one more iteration. Okay, so now C++, which means I'm going to increment C from 0 to 1. So now C has become 1. Remember, the length of SAR remains to be 1. So 1 less than 1, false. We're going to exit from the loop, which means we are done with iterating through this particular row here. We are done. Okay. Okay. Try that. Now we're done. Okay. Now we're finishing the row. We're going to increment the value of R from 0 to 1. So that's why you see the value of R is going to be 1. So you're going to go through the row number 1 again. Okay. That's kind of the iteration you should really try to trace by yourself. Okay. Any questions about this? Okay, are we good? Okay, very good. Okay, we still have about 5 minutes. Okay, what about we try something very quickly? Okay, I will help you start it. Can we just have a quick look? So, can we have a quick look on exercise 1.2, right? You will see that it is the table that you were taught, right? You were shown in the class today, right? Why don't we just try something very simple? I'm going to go over the solution with you, but I would say, please try your best. I know you have a quiz on Thursday, but still try your best to struggle with the 2 exercises before I go over the solution with you. You'll be much better. It works much better in that way. So let me just go there and show you. Can we just create a new class just to get started? New, and then class. So what about, we can call that calculate mileages, miles of trip. How about that? Something like that, okay? And there's only one thing I'm going to help you. Let me help you to get a 2-dimensional array up and going, okay? So let's say we want to translate the table on your paper into Java. So what we want to do is this. Integer, that 2-dimensional array. Let's call this array distances. Okay? And then we can say it's assigned to, again, put an empty pair of curly brackets and hit enter here. Okay? How many rows do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rows. So let's put 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will complete the first row with you, and then you can do the rest. And I'll do it here as well. Make sure at least we get this going before you leave today. Okay? For the first one, you can make some comments here. What about the source is Chicago? You can see from your table there, right? Why don't we try? Over here, 0, 983, 787, 714, 1375, 967. Okay, that's the first row. I would say really try to get all the empty rows first before you fill in the number. That's much better. Why don't we do just spend the next 1 minute or two, finish this, okay, quickly. Okay. Okay. Okay, I only got 2 rows left. Hopefully you have something similar, right? How about I say this? I will be kind enough. If I finish first, I'll send it to Kako Talk. If I finish first. But don't stop, please. Okay, I finished. Oh, as a promise, I'll send it to Kako Talk. Okay, hopefully that saves some of your time. You can check the numbers, let me know if I got any typos. Okay, I think I will stop here today. So please, by Thursday, try 1.1 and 1.2, at least know what the question are asking. And then, so when I go over the solution, it would be so possible. Okay. So for Thursday, again, for the quiz, you got to study the entire lectures on the loops. I would say focus more on early exit, short circuit. Of other things you got to study as well. Just focus more. Okay, I'll see you on Thursday.